Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire for nearly 2 decades, but his greatest challenge wasn't war or politics. It was maintaining loving relationships while dealing with betrayal, loss, and human nature's darkest sides. The Stoic philosophy he developed didn't just save Rome. It created a blueprint for building unbreakable bonds that modern psychology is only now beginning to understand. Today, I'm going to share the 5 Stoic principles that can transform any relationship, whether it's romantic, friendship, or family. These aren't feel-good platitudes. They're battle-tested strategies that work even when emotions run high and trust feels broken. The first Stoic principle is this: you cannot control another person, but you have complete control over your response to them. This is the foundation of all healthy relationships and the core of mental resilience. Epictetus, who went from slave to one of history's greatest philosophers, taught that most relationship problems come from trying to change the other person instead of managing our own emotions. When your partner comes home stressed, when your friend cancels plans, when family members criticize you, your immediate reaction determines everything that follows. Here's the practical application. Before responding to any conflict, take what Stoics call the pause. Ask yourself, is my reaction going to improve this situation or make it worse? Most arguments escalate because both people are reacting from emotion rather than wisdom. When you consistently respond with calm thoughtfulness instead of defensive anger, you become the stable center that others can rely on. The second principle is accepting people exactly as they are, not as you wish they were. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much trouble he avoids, who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does." This doesn't mean accepting abuse or bad behavior. It means understanding that you cannot fundamentally change someone's personality, values, or choices. When you constantly try to fix people or expect them to meet standards they never agreed to, you create resentment on both sides. Stoic acceptance means loving people for who they are while setting clear boundaries about what you will and won't tolerate. This creates authentic connections because people feel accepted rather than judged. The Stoicism philosophy teaches that trying to control others is the fastest way to destroy trust and intimacy. Third principle: instead of keeping score of what others do wrong, focus entirely on what you contribute. Ancient Stoics believed that the only person whose behavior you're responsible for is yourself. This means asking different questions. Instead of, "Why doesn't my partner appreciate me?" ask, "How can I show appreciation better?" Instead of, "Why don't my friends make more effort?" ask, "How can I be a better friend?" This isn't about becoming a doormat. It's about taking ownership of your role in every relationship dynamic. When you consistently bring your best self to interactions, you naturally inspire others to rise to that level. Stoics understood that leading by example is infinitely more powerful than criticism or demands. The fourth principle is revolutionary. The goal of communication is understanding, not winning. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that other people's opinions and actions come from their own experiences and limitations, not from a desire to hurt you. This changes everything about how you handle disagreements. Instead of trying to prove you're right, you focus on understanding their perspective. Instead of defending your position, you look for common ground. Instead of attacking their character, you address specific behaviors. Stoic communication follows this pattern. I understand you feel this way because of this experience. Here's how I see it differently. How can we find a solution that works for both of us? This approach builds mental resilience in relationships because it prevents the emotional damage that comes from constantly battling the people you care about. The final principle might be the most powerful. Remember that every relationship is temporary. This isn't pessimistic, it's liberating. Stoics practiced Memento Mori, remembering that life is finite. When you truly understand that your time with loved ones is limited, you stop wasting it on petty arguments, grudges, and taking people for granted. This perspective makes you more present, more grateful, and more willing to forgive. Instead of holding on to resentment for months, you think, is this worth the precious time we have together? The answer is almost always no. Memento Mori doesn't make you clingy or desperate. It makes you appreciative and intentional about the relationships you invest in. These 5 Stoic principles, controlling your reactions, accepting others, focusing on your contribution, communicating for understanding, and remembering life's brevity, have strengthened relationships for over 2,000 years. They work because they're based on timeless human psychology, not trendy relationship advice. The beautiful thing about Stoicism philosophy is that you can start applying these principles immediately. You don't need the other person to change or even to understand what you're doing. When you consistently bring Stoic wisdom to your relationships, you become the kind of person others want to be around, trust deeply, and stay connected with for life. If these principles helped you see your relationships differently, hit that like button and subscribe to the Stoic Mind Fortress. We explore ancient wisdom that creates real transformation in modern life. What Stoic relationship principle will you try first? Let me know in the comments below.